If you lead long enough, you won't just deliver difficult conversations, you'll receive them too. And frankly, receiving a difficult conversation can be even harder than delivering one. Welcome to the Leadership Career Accelerator, where we help aspiring leaders like you build executive presence, influence with impact, and get recognized and promoted. I am longtime CEO Barry Moline. If you're serious about getting promoted, being more influential, and leading with confidence, hit subscribe. Every week, you'll get practical strategies you can use right away to grow your career. Today, we're talking about when someone wants to have a difficult conversation with you. When someone says, "Do you have a minute? I need to talk with you about something difficult." Your stomach drops. Your mind starts racing because you don't know what's coming next. But how you respond in the next few moments determines trust, culture, and your reputation for leadership. So today, I'm breaking down exactly what to do when someone comes to you with a difficult conversation and how to handle it with confidence, steadiness, and respect. I'm breaking it down into 5 parts. The first one is start strong. Say yes, then decide when to have the conversation. When someone brings you a tough topic, don't shut them down. But that doesn't mean you have to jump into it immediately if you're caught off guard. Say something like, "Yes, I want to hear this. Can we talk in 10 or 20 minutes so I can give you my full attention?" This does 2 things. One, it validates their courage because they brought the issue to you and they might feel a little sheepish having done that. And 2, it gives you a moment to get emotionally ready. You can't avoid the conversation, but you can schedule it shortly so you show up centered. You said yes and you set the timing so you can show up well. Now, before you talk, you need to get yourself ready and steady. The next phase is get steady. Regulate your emotions before starting. The phrase, "we need to talk," activates your nervous system. You feel anxious, defensive, maybe even unsure. So reset, breathe, relax your shoulders. Remind yourself, this is a leadership moment. Emotional regulation is the difference between reacting and responding. You want to be calm enough to respond, but not react. Now you can enter the conversation with the right mindset. And the next phase is understand first. Step into curiosity, not defense. Your mindset should be, there's something important here, let me understand it. Curiosity lowers tension. Curiosity builds trust. Curiosity shows your maturity. So you can ask questions like, what's on your mind? What part feels most important to you? These open the door to honest communication. Once they start sharing, your job is simple and surprisingly hard. You have to listen without interrupting. Just listen. Let them talk. Let them finish. They've rehearsed what they want to say, so it's your turn to listen. If you're interrupting, that communicates defensiveness, insecurity, and lack of respect. So silence shows that you're really listening, and it communicates leadership. And after they finish, do this next step immediately. Acknowledge their perspective and emotions. This is emotional intelligence at work. Say things like, "I can see this is frustrating. Thank you for bringing this to me. I understand why this matters to you." Acknowledgement is not agreement, it's respect. After you acknowledge, you can start digging deeper by asking clarifying questions before responding. Most leaders skip this and jump right into defending themselves. Don't do that. Ask, "Can you give me an example? Tell me what impact this had." Ask, "When did this start?" And really important, ask, "What outcome would you like to see?" Clarifying questions help you understand the real issue. So you've heard them out, you validated them, and you clarified what's really going on. Now it's time to respond like a leader. starting with accountability. So you want to respond with leadership and own your part. If you contributed to this problem in any way, say so. You can say, I can see how my lack of communication added to this. I didn't realize that I came across that way, but I understand now. Being accountable earns massive credibility. Once you understand the full picture, it's time to respond. And you want to be calm, direct, and honest. No defensiveness, no excuses, no counterattacks, just calm, clear leadership. If the feedback is valid, acknowledge it. If something was misunderstood, clarify it gently. If boundaries need to be set, set them clearly. So you've owned what's yours and responded clearly without escalation. Now, let's turn the conversation into progress. You turn it into progress by collaborating on next steps. You can say things like, let's figure this out together. What would meaningful progress look like to you? Here's what I can do. What do you need? Now you're in the mode of co-creating, and you're creating a plan that builds ownership and trust among the two of you. And before you leave the conversation, don't skip this next part. Show appreciation. Even if the conversation was hard, you can close with something like, thank you for bringing this to me. I know it wasn't easy. That simple sentence builds psychological safety. It signals that you welcome honest communication, even when it's uncomfortable. But now you're not done. Follow up. Don't let the conversation fade. In a few days, check in. You can ask, how are things feeling now? Is anything getting better? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Follow-up is where real leadership lives. Anyone can have a conversation once. Leaders show up again and again. You've created a plan, you've closed with respect, and shown it mattered by following up. Receiving a difficult conversation is one of the biggest tests of leadership. But if you listen with curiosity, respond with honesty, and lead with respect, you turn a tense moment into a trust-building moment. And that's the kind of leader people want to follow, not because they're perfect, but because you're strong enough to listen. Wrapping up, what's the one thing you can implement today? I've given you a lot of ideas, but I think the most important action you can take is to listen and turn the conversation into progress into the future. Yeah, that's two things, but listening is really key without interrupting, and then shifting the conversation toward how are we going to resolve this and what outcome would you like to see? That shows that you're engaged and you want a positive outcome for the future. Thanks for listening, and congratulations. You are a member of the End of the Show Club. If you're serious about getting promoted, being more influential, and leading with confidence, hit subscribe. Every week, you'll get practical strategies you can use right away to grow your career. I'll see you next time.